The National Electrical Code, or NEC, addresses raceway fill in Chapter 9, Note 4. This note permits a 60% fill allowance for raceways that are less than 24 inches in length and located between boxes, cabinets, and similar enclosures. The key consideration is whether a short section of raceway, such as a 12-inch piece of Liquidtight Flexible Metal Conduit, or LFMC connecting a cabinet and a conduit body, meets the requirements for this exception. The answer, generally, is no. The 60% fill allowance is intended for very specific situations, primarily short sections of conduit used for equipment connections or fixture whips. These short sections are typically installed to provide flexibility or to facilitate equipment maintenance and replacement. The code anticipates that these short sections will not be subjected to the same stresses as longer raceway runs, and therefore a higher fill percentage is permitted. However, the exception is not automatically applicable to all short raceway sections. Several factors must be considered to determine if the 60% fill allowance is appropriate. Firstly, the length of the raceway must be less than 24 inches. Secondly, the raceway must be located between boxes, cabinets, or similar enclosures. Thirdly, the purpose of the raceway must align with the intent of the exception, which is typically for equipment connections or fixture whips. In the specific scenario of a 12-inch piece of LFMC between a cabinet and a conduit body, the application of the 60% fill allowance is questionable. While the length requirement is met and the raceway is connected to enclosures, the purpose of the raceway may not align with the intent of the exception. A conduit body is typically used as a junction or pulling point in a raceway system rather than as an enclosure for equipment connections. Therefore, the 60% fill allowance would not apply. The standard raceway fill rules, as specified in Chapter 9, Table 1, would need to be applied. These rules limit the fill percentage based on the number of conductors in the raceway. For example, if the raceway contains 3 or more conductors, the fill percentage is typically limited to 40%. Additionally, the size of the conduit must be sufficient to accommodate the conductors and any required grounding conductors. The NEC provides specific tables and calculations for determining the minimum conduit size based on the conductor sizes and fill percentage. These tables take into account the physical characteristics of the conductors, such as their diameter and insulation thickness. It is important to consult these tables to ensure that the selected conduit size is adequate. Furthermore, the installation of the LFMC must comply with all other applicable requirements of the NEC, including those related to support, securing, and grounding. The LFMC must be properly supported to prevent sagging or damage. It must also be securely connected to the cabinet and conduit body using appropriate fittings. Grounding is essential for electrical safety and must be provided in accordance with the NEC requirements. The grounding conductor must be properly sized and connected to the equipment grounding system. In summary, while a 12-inch piece of LFMC meets the length requirement for the 60% fill allowance, the application of this exception depends on the specific purpose and configuration of the raceway system. In most cases, a conduit body is part of a larger conduit run, and the standard raceway fill rules would apply. It is always best to consult the NEC and local codes to ensure compliance with all applicable requirements. Proper raceway fill is essential for electrical safety and to prevent overheating and damage to conductors. Overfilling a raceway can lead to insulation breakdown, short circuits, and even electrical fires. Therefore, it is crucial to follow the NEC guidelines and use appropriate conduit sizes and fill percentages. Consider the application of the 60% fill exception for short raceway sections. This exception applies when the raceway is less than 24 inches long and is located between boxes, cabinets, or similar enclosures. This exception is primarily intended for short sections of conduit used for equipment connections or fixture whips. Now to further clarify, firstly, raceway length is key. Note 4 specifically mentions raceways less than 24 inches. Secondly, the location is also important. The raceway must be between boxes, cabinets, or similar enclosures. Thirdly, the application is also important. It's generally for equipment connections or fixture whips. The 60% fill allowance is not a blanket exception for all short conduit runs. It is intended for specific situations where the raceway is used to connect equipment or fixtures. In the case of LFMC between a cabinet and a conduit body, the 60% fill allowance might not apply. A conduit body is often used as part of a larger raceway system, not just for connecting equipment. Therefore, you would typically need to follow the standard raceway fill rules in Chapter 9, Table 1 of the NEC. These rules dictate the maximum fill percentage based on the number of conductors in the raceway. For example, for 3 or more conductors, the fill percentage is typically limited to 40%. Let's break it down further. Imagine a scenario where you are wiring a motor. You might use a short piece of LFMC to connect the motor to a junction box on the wall. In this case, the 60% fill allowance might be applicable as the LFMC is being used for an equipment connection. On the other hand, if you are running a conduit from a panel board to a series of outlets, and you use a conduit body as a pulling point along the way, the 60% fill allowance would not apply to the section of conduit between the panel board and the conduit body. In this case, you would need to adhere to the standard raceway fill rules. It is always best to err on the side of caution and use a larger conduit size if you are unsure whether the 60% fill allowance applies. Overfilling a conduit can lead to overheating and potential damage to the conductors. The NEC provides detailed tables and calculations for determining the appropriate conduit size based on the number and size of the conductors. These tables take into account the type of conductor, the insulation thickness, and the fill percentage. It is important to consult these tables and follow the NEC guidelines to ensure a safe and compliant installation. Additionally, consider the practical aspects of pulling conductors through a conduit. Even if the fill percentage is within the code limits, it may be difficult to pull the conductors through a tightly packed conduit. Using a larger conduit size can make the pulling process easier and reduce the risk of damaging the conductors. Also, remember that the NEC is not the only factor to consider. Local codes and regulations may have additional requirements for raceway fill. It is important to consult with your local electrical inspector to ensure that your installation complies with all applicable codes and regulations. Always prioritize safety and follow the NEC guidelines to ensure a safe and compliant electrical installation. In summary, the 60% fill allowance for short raceway sections is a specific exception that applies only in certain situations. It is not a blanket rule for all short conduit runs. When in doubt, follow the standard raceway fill rules and consult with your local electrical inspector. The following considerations should be made. Firstly, review the NEC definition of boxes, cabinets, and similar enclosures. This will help you determine whether the enclosures you are working with meet the requirements for the 60% fill allowance. Secondly, consider the purpose of the raceway. Is it being used for an equipment connection, a fixture whip, or as part of a larger raceway system? Thirdly, consult the NEC tables and calculations for determining the appropriate conduit size. These tables will help you ensure that the conduit is large enough to accommodate the conductors and any required grounding conductors. Consider the type of conductors being used. Different types of conductors have different insulation thicknesses, which can affect the fill percentage. For example, THHN conductors typically have a smaller insulation thickness than THW conductors, allowing for a higher fill percentage. The NEC provides specific tables for different types of conductors. Think about the environment where the raceway is being installed. If the raceway is exposed to high temperatures, it may be necessary to use a larger conduit size to prevent overheating. The NEC provides dirting factors for conductors installed in high-temperature environments. Take into account the future needs of the electrical system. If you anticipate adding more conductors to the raceway in the future, it is best to use a larger conduit size to accommodate the additional conductors. It is always easier and more cost-effective to install a larger conduit initially than to replace a smaller conduit later. Consider the accessibility of the raceway. If the raceway is difficult to access, it may be more challenging to pull conductors through it. In this case, using a larger conduit size can make the pulling process easier. Think about the cost of the conduit. Larger conduit sizes typically cost more than smaller conduit sizes. However, the cost of a larger conduit may be offset by the reduced labor costs associated with pulling conductors through it. Consider the aesthetic appearance of the Raceway. In some cases, a larger conduit size may be more visually appealing than a smaller conduit size. This is especially true in exposed installations. It is important to strike a balance between functionality and aesthetics. Prioritize safety. Always follow the NEC guidelines and local codes to ensure a safe and compliant electrical installation. Overfilling a Raceway can lead to overheating, insulation breakdown, short circuits, and even electrical fires. Consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer if you have any questions or concerns about Raceway fill. They can provide expert advice and ensure that your installation is safe and compliant. The NEC is a complex document, and it is essential to have a thorough understanding of its requirements. Consider taking a course or attending a seminar on the NEC. This will help you stay up to date on the latest code changes and best practices. The NEC is updated every 3 years, so it is important to stay informed of the latest revisions. The NEC is not a substitute for sound engineering judgment. Always use your professional expertise and experience to make informed decisions about electrical installations. Do not hesitate to ask for help or seek advice from experienced colleagues. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it is essential to take all necessary precautions to protect yourself and others. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment, such as safety glasses, gloves, and insulated tools. Follow lockout/tagout procedures to de-energize electrical circuits before working on them. Be aware of the potential hazards associated with electrical work, such as arc flash and electrocution. Take the necessary steps to mitigate these risks. Stay safe and follow the NEC guidelines to ensure a safe and compliant electrical installation. Remember, electrical safety is everyone's responsibility. By following the NEC guidelines and best practices, you can help prevent electrical accidents and ensure the safety of yourself and others. In conclusion, the 60% fill allowance for short Raceway sections is a specific exception that applies only in certain situations. It is not a blanket rule for all short conduit runs. When in doubt, follow the standard Raceway fill rules and consult with your local electrical inspector. The 60% fill is situational. Always check first.